Welcome to the developing region of Lumoria on the BattleCraft SMP. A lot has changed in our short time since discovering this region. Lumoria, a mixture of luminous, bright aspirations all of us creatives bring to the area, and euphoria, the cathartic, nostalgic feeling we get when we explore with our Pokemon. Introducing the Lumoria region, the land of bright opportunities. And every region needs people to fill roles and jobs. Some are musicians while others are healers. Some are detectives, and I'm a constructor. That's why I've built up this construction site here as my starter base. And I'm going to expand it today, so let's get to building. To set the stage for today, we've got some terraforming to do and landscaping. Have you ever been out and about looking at maybe it is someone's property, someone's house, especially if it's not a flat area, or traveling through a town? And you may have noticed retaining walls holding back pieces of dirt. Maybe it's next to a road or a sidewalk, or maybe it's used in someone's lawn to get a little bit more lawn space for some flower beds. Regardless, terrace creation is a necessary part of any construction job, so that's basically what I'm doing here, expanding the second tier of the terrace and making a third one. You have to set the stage for big jobs, and stuff like this has been waiting to be done for a while. So now that we got that out of the way, it started over here in like episode 2, and now I finally continued it all the way down here to my little hobble hole. Now my little hobble hole here, people still use the nether portal in there, so that's why I'm leaving that, but it's just a little bit more obscured. Adding a ton of detail to this wall with the stair blocks, the walls, slabs, the occasional leaf block or glow berries, and the occasional oak fences to make it look like you're kind of holding back the wall and it's being repaired over time and it's aged and a little decrepit. But I think that is a good look for this town. It makes it look like there's, we're discovering stuff here as we go. And that's been kind of my theme so far for the season. So there's a good look at the lower part here. And of course, I'm going to acknowledge this giant build, but let's go ahead and go up here. Upgraded this to the granite so that it matches the rest of the build. Of course, we've got Rob's Who's That Mon, and I didn't want to really bother that or Skipper and Chespi's area down there. So I simply have added in this retaining wall here, creating a ton of space, like 20 blocks or so of space for us to build future builds here. And we're going to be building stuff later in today's episode that I'm excited about. Also wrapped up the retaining wall back here. Hadn't done that before. So now that that's out of the way, we need some help doing some more demolition work because we're going to be building a demolition crane in today's episode. And I need a Pokemon with a super high attack stat to help me out. And we're very lucky because there is a new laboratory here. And every server needs a lab, right? We need to keep our research going. We need to be as academic as possible, so we make sure that we're sharing the right information. And what's the best way to do that but have a entire laboratory dedicated to education and learning? And that's what this is, the Archaeological and Fossil Lab created by Peeporp and Drew. They did a fantastic job with this. Look at these little seats. They look so great with the benches. The detail work in here is amazing. See, I've been doing desks the old-fashioned way. I forget there are actually like tables and desks in this mod. I do it the vanilla way. These things look fantastic, and in fact, there's an empty display case here. I'm going to donate to this place. The almighty Helix fossil. There we go. This looks like a great place for some people to do some fossil research. On this side, we have the archaeological area where people are studying archaeology. Look, they're looking at these sherds from the past. They're writing down some stuff and brushing away pots, and some of the debris is falling on the floor. We've got the fossil analyzers over here, and I'm going to need to use that today. And oh my gosh, looks like we're getting started getting a Mewtwo going over here. Well, if we're going to be cloning stuff, this seems like the area to do it. And we're going to be needing to clone that Pokemon I was telling you about. On a previous live stream, I did a little landscaping here in the town, and then went out exploring, trying to track down some more fossil structures. I managed to find a skull fossil, one I didn't have yet, along with Conkeldurr and Machamp. I think a Rampardos would be a great addition to my construction gym-themed team as the demolition expert, because these two guys, well, they got the building part down. So I found this skull fossil on stream, and it's time to bring it back from the dead. We're going to clone the DNA off of that and get some cells coagulating in this tank right here. So to do that, obviously, we need this fossil analyzer, a monitor, and a tank. And when you have all of these things, you can input some organic material. I think leaves or seeds are often the easiest. We can put some organic material in here to create this goop that is going to house our cloned Pokemon until it is fully grown. So now we just gotta wait while this fossil is being analyzed and while the clone inside grows. There's more building to do, even in the rain. We've built some landscaping equipment and general construction equipment like these cranes and the buckets and the bulldozers, but now we need a demolition crane. And if you can believe it, I've never built a demolition crane before, so this is going to be interesting. But let's get to building. Well, this is something that I don't build every day, and that is a giant demolition crane with a wrecking ball, but it was a lot of fun to build. I hadn't built one before, and I was basing it off of a picture of a real one online, but I think it turned out pretty good. Went with these deep slate tiles and deep slate, cobble deep slate for the tracks on the bottom, of course. Went with the green color for the body, some black stone for the accents, and I added a bunch of little redstone details, some ladders. The parapets are a really nice addition, the trapdoors. Inside here we have a bench, and I thought this kind of looked like a steering wheel. The carpenter table from Chipped, which is really nice. And then we have these giant connected cables that are connecting the crane, supporting all of the weight, because it's got to be able to support some weight in order to, it's got to be quite balanced to throw this wrecking ball around and do some real demolition. That's a new one for me, and I think we're also ready to go find an addition to our team that can help us match this demolition power from this crane. Let's go see if our fossil is done. It looks to me like our Cranidos is done. Oh man, it's so weird looking in there. Ugh. And we can go ahead and let it out and catch it now. There we go, with an Ultra Ball, because all of my team is using the Ultra Ball. All of the construction team. Ooh, there it is. Look at that Cranidos. And like I said, its evolution, Rampardos, I believe has the highest attack stat of any like non-Mega Evolution Pokemon in the game, basically. So this one's IVs are not super great. I actually have another Skull Fossil, so I'm gonna try that out too. So the second one was actually worse. I don't know how, but it was. So it had 0 IVs in attack, and we need IVs in attack. This guy's got 14. Okay, you're not the strongest little clone ever, but you'll have to do. Skull Fossils are kind of annoying to get, so we're gonna make do. Anyway, we're gonna do some switch training with this guy, and by giving him the Power Bracer, he's gonna gain more attack EVs, and these guys over here give attack EVs. We're gonna give him attack and speed, and those little bees give speed. So I'm gonna be running around here for an area. This is switch training. You send out one Pokemon, you're gonna switch out into another one that can tank a hit, like my Conkeldurr here, and then we're gonna knock it out with Conkeldurr. And obviously, Conkeldurr and Cranidos will get XP, and you'll see in chat, it grew to level 20 off of that one alone. We gotta get this guy up to level 30, I believe, before he evolves. So let's do a little switch training. You know, Cranidos is actually, like, pretty strong on its own, at least at taking out these weak bug types. And I think with that one, we are all done. 252, 252, 4. Maxed out Cranidos, and that means we can evolve it into Rampardos. And Rampardos is a pretty cool Pokemon. Oh man, look at that guy. Look at that head on him. Rams into things with that horn on his head and with the giant like wrecking ball. And let's take a look at this attack stat too. With the Adamant Mint, 192 at level 42. But 192 at level 42 is insane. I mean, level 52 Machamp, 188. So that gives you an idea of like how, even though it's underleveled, it's still so strong. I've got the whole construction crew out here now. Well guys, as the sun goes down on the server and the crew is behind me, we are going to call it a day here on Lumoria on the BattleCraft server. Thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in today. You guys get an extra attack Adamant gold star if you made it this far. See you next time.